we are selling this Bronco right here. We can't help it. We have to. We have no choice. And how do you feel about that?
I'm so sad to leave my baddie the Badlands. That's how I call him. I'm so sad, but at the same time, stay with us. You will see the real reason why we are doing that, even if it's breaking our heart. Yeah.
And it's even worse after doing the Bronco off-rodeo in New Hampshire, because we got this Bronco as a temporary fix. It wasn't our ideal build. This is much closer to our ideal build. We had to wait longer to have this, but this was kind of sort of a modified Bronco to get it sooner. You know, originally we weren't fans of the idea of the soft top, so really in this video we are going to review all the things that we absolutely loved about the Bronco, the huge surprises, a bit of what we learned, and we'll talk exactly why, all the good and the bad behind why we're selling this Bronco. So stay tuned. We're going to head inside the Bronco to get better vocals.
Okay, so Johnny, now tell everybody why we are getting rid of my baddie Badlands.
Yeah, so I know a lot of you are going to feel upset that we're getting rid of a Bronco and say, why would we?
I'm the first that is upset.
And that is fair. And a lot of this is my fault. Actually, all of this is my fault. A lot of it has to do with constraints. So the Maverick, we actually originally, constraints on the Maverick, but also constraints on the Bronco have had it so that, you know, we sacrificed on the Bronco and we didn't quite get the Bronco the way we wanted it. And with the Maverick, well, because of constraints, we just don't have a Maverick. So Marie, those are the real reasons why we're getting rid of the Bronco. And also because we ended up getting a second Bronco because we were just waiting. We waited a really long time on an Escape plug-in. And right before Escape plugins finally ended up getting built after 3-4 delays with always, in 2-3 months we'll be building them, they'll be coming. And anyways, there's a lot of delays with that hybrid system on the Escape plugin. We got completely fed up last summer, so July 17th we ordered a Maverick. Now, I did warn Marie that staying away from a spray and bed liner would be important, and that things with more microchips could take longer. But hey, last summer, longer we thought could mean 2-3 months, and we said, well, great, if anything it will just arrive, you know, for winter. And boy, were we ever wrong.
It was a surprise.
It was a surprise.
We cannot knew before.
The first hybrids
was all estimation.
And the simplest hybrids showed up the 23rd. So we would have originally thought those hybrids would have showed up in September with the EcoBoost, and we figured 2-3 months later we'd still get our hybrid Maverick, her hybrid, Marie's Maverick Marie. We'd get her hybrid, and we know we'd be calling her Maverick Marie, but we thought we'd get that for Christmas because we figured it'd be 2-3 months late because of the extra microchips and the spray and bed liner.
Yes, because before you ordered the second Bronco, we were supposed to not order a second Bronco for now, and just waiting for mine. So I was already with an old Escape just for the in-between to have something to drive, and then another delay and we didn't have a VIN number, so we bought the second Bronco and I took the blue one. So
lessons learned: if you're ordering a Maverick, or if you're gonna order a Maverick, or really any truck at any manufacturer, avoid spray and bed liner. Now currently for the Maverick, you want to avoid the Lux package because of the heated seats, the heated mirrors, the heated steering wheel, more microchips, more problems, much longer delays. Even if you go with an EcoBoost, it is a longer delay. And I think on the EcoBoost, it's looking more like you'll add maybe 3 months or so to your EcoBoost order, but there's a huge backlog of hybrids already in the system for the Maverick. So the fact that you're a Maverick, you're definitely longer, and the fact that you're Lux package, well, your problem compounded onto problem. At least, and I very last minute, it's only been a month since I switched your Lux package to to the Lux package that has the drop-in bed liner. So that is a huge advantage. So lessons learned on the Maverick, but this Bronco right here is also a compromised Bronco. I originally wanted a two-door Bronco with a hard top because I was very much sold on the hard top.
And guess what? The 2 doors arrive after the 4 doors.
Yep.
Few months after.
We still probably wouldn't have a Bronco had we not sacrificed and completely changed our order.
The order are top 2. So yeah, it's the 2 things that you wanted was the thing that we will need to wait for the most long time. Yeah.
And even though I'm not famous, but I'm famously cheap. I nonetheless knew from the get-go I wanted a big touchscreen and I wanted the heated seats and the keyless entry. But when I was switching my order from a two-door Bronco, I was thinking microchips, this is going to be an issue. So I don't want to have a delay. So what did I do? I took soft top 4-door and I went without the 12-inch screen, even though I really wanted that 360 camera, mainly the camera in the front. And I guess I was being a bit of a luxury king or queen, princess, whatever. I wanted the 12-inch screen for that 360 front camera.
And at the same time, the first time you really wanted a bad lens. And with all of that equipment, guess what? The Bronco would cost a lot more than this one.
Ideally, I wanted a Badlands. I wanted the 12-inch screen. And on top of it, ideally, I would have wanted Sasquatch. But, you know, my cheapness and financially, I said, no way am I going to swing this.
That was too much.
So I got this very base Badlands. And I call it base, but really I did nonetheless force myself out of my comfort zone, budget-wise. And I got myself the 2.7 liter. That was when I was ordering. Little did I know we would end up selling my Mustang GT convertible. Broke my heart. You kind of told me, pick, you know, either get the Bronco or keep the Mustang, but you're going to drive one or the other. And she reminded me, because I have trouble believing this, but apparently you can't drive 2 vehicles at the same time. So she said, Johnny, you can only drive one at a time.
And the Mustang, you can drive it in the winter too. So that sucks to pay for a new Mustang.
Yeah, we're in Canada
have it
here
in the winter in the garage all winter long.
And swinging the payments on 2 vehicles, one of which you can't. And one of which, the 2018 Mustang, I can't even drive in the winter. And I'd be paying and it'd be taking up space in the garage. And originally she was like, half the garage is my space. So
now it's all yours because you have an ATV and you have another car. So
yeah, the channel has added a Toyota MR2 because that she allowed me to get because it's a vehicle we actually
sentimental.
It's sentimental. I owned it when years, like a decade before we started dating. Actually, almost a decade exactly. Yeah. We met each other in 2005 and we started dating in 2015. I was driving that and she thought that basically anyone who drove in the vehicle with me was my girlfriend, which was totally not the case. But anywho, that's a whole different story. But she was all for me getting back this vehicle. She's called it my 40-year-old life crisis or whatnot, but it's also sentimental for the two of us. So I guess really simply put, this Badlands isn't my exact ideal build. It's getting close, but it's still a little bit of ways away from it. And I had a chance to pick up a canceled order. And with the canceled order, it was almost perfect. The Outer Banks is Sasquatch. So I've got the locking diffs front and back. Really important because we like to play in the mud and we like to play in really loose sand. It doesn't have bash plates and it doesn't have the steel bumper. So the only issue is sometimes when you're playing in mud, you sink down and you eat a rock. And if that rock happens to eat your oil pan, well, you're now really stuck. And you might be spending, $1,000 on a very expensive towing. Of course, when you off-road, always a great idea to off-road with a friend, have recovery ropes. So we'll be talking all about recovery ropes. I don't have the type of budget to allow myself. I'd absolutely love a worn winch in the front. My four-wheeler has a winch in the front. There's 4 times this winter my four-wheeler would still be out in the forest if it didn't have a winch and if my buddies didn't have a winch, because one time I just kind of drove into the beginning of a kind of a bog, you could say. But anywho, I love having a winch, but I can't afford it on the Bronco. But really the Outer Banks, for me, what it's missing to be ideal, are the skid plates and the front bumper. But here's the thing. We have 2 Broncos and we still don't have a Maverick. We're starting to really think that the Maverick, based on what is probably the remaining allotments that our local dealer where we ordered will get for 2022s, we're thinking we're going to be probably the first 2023 build. So if it gets built in, the first week of November or sometime in November as a hybrid, and that's if the dealer actually gets, because when a dealer gets attributed allocations, there's a split for the Maverick between how many EcoBoosts they get and how many hybrids they get. So it can mean that they get 3 for the month, and all 3 could be EcoBoost. 2 could be EcoBoost and 1 could be hybrid. Or they might only get 1 and it's EcoBoost. So we're probably getting built in either November or December, which means we're going to be getting, if it gets built, we'll get it about, from the time they start building it to showing up in the dealer, it's going to be roughly 4 weeks. So we should get it. We'll probably already have had maybe had a snowstorm, but we'll work that part out. But anyways, this is why we've asked the channel for your help. Of course, it always helps if you want to help feed a poodle, our poodle, put them through the sports program of balloon popping. But if you want to help feed and dress a poodle, you just have to like and subscribe. And we want to say a very special thank you to our members. We've been really blessed, and very kind. Ridgeview subscribed right up to our channel, and he hit that join button, and so did Long MacArthur. So thank you for that channel's support, because we are huge Long MacArthur fans. So it's really cool, and it really touched us that we'd have that support right there, because we're watching that channel at least once a week, always there for the live, unless something happens, like I'm stuck late at work, I'm ill. But Marie definitely hears Tim in the house on a very regular basis, and pretty much everywhere in the house, because I'm very regularly watching Tim. So if you haven't, Ford, so Tim has also his own YouTube channel that we're subscribed to. So I'll just put the links here. We'll get right at the bottom, and I do suggest that you subscribe to that channel. But sorry, we'll get right back on topic, because I have tendency to get off topic.
You have many things to say. That's normal.
Yeah.
So now, please tell us, what do you like about the Badlands that we will need to say bye to tomorrow?
Well, part of what we love about the Badlands is how many people love the Bronco. Not just the Badlands, but, we were driving by our old house today. Guy gives a huge thumbs up. Wherever we go, we get a big thumbs up, sometimes 2 thumbs up. We haven't no Jeep people have given us the finger yet, I don't think.
No, they say hi sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes
you have one that says hi, and me too. So
yeah, well,
we're part of the crew.
maybe they're saying hi more to you than the Bronco. But anyways, people love this vehicle, and that's part of the reason also why we're sad to get rid of it, but we got an offer on the vehicle that is more than what we paid for it. So money talks, and I'm not able to when money talks, I'm not able to walk. I have to go with it. I have my business, I guess my business side of things, where I emotionally detach myself. So we're not getting rid of this because
not for fun.
It's not for fun. It's not because we found it was garbage. It's not because we had problems. In our other Bronco, once the check engine light came on, it was a very simple, easy, pleasant experience to have it fixed. The dealer treated me amazingly. They just changed the temperature guide. As soon as I told them what it was, they didn't even get in the vehicle, and they're like, oh, that sounds a lot like the outside temperature sensor. We'll just change that up. Don't worry, mister. Everything's good. They said, as soon as the part comes in, we'll switch it right up. So that was amazing. This one, other than a little popping sound when I was kind of drifting through the snow, didn't end up being anything wrong with the vehicle. We never had tie rod issues. We never had engine issues. The soft top How did you find it? You're the one who's cold at basically all the
Every
time.
day. Yeah. No, I really loved it. It's not cold at all, and I love the simplicity that when you open it, it's so easy. 2 clips and you push it back.
Yeah, we took the nieces out for our nieces. We took the nieces out for ice cream today, and it was a big joke. They're like, yeah, top down. Pop the top down, and of course they're her nieces, so I was very comfortable, but they were cold, of course. So after like a minute of drive, not even 45 seconds of driving, they started saying, oh well, you know, we're cold, and they're shivering, so we felt bad. We pulled over.
Today's not a summer day here.
No. And you know, we pulled over and we had that top closed within seconds. Actually, I went to close it and I was like, what the heck, it's already closed. She was just in the back and she just pushing
the bar at the back. So it was easy when you're in the back and you go up to push the bar. 2 seconds.
Recently, we had a tornado warning for our area. Now, we didn't get hit with a tornado, but winds were wild enough that our back cedar hedge, which normally never moves at all in the wind, it was, you know,
the top, it was
swimming. Yeah, but the top, swimmingly
no
good.
Water inside.
Yeah, no water inside, not even a drop.
And you were talking about the nieces.
No issues, no cold.
And you were talking about the nieces. They were really surprised because they were sitting in the back and they said, wow, it opens so wide. Everybody has sun. It's just not a little part in the front. So that's what I love, because you don't have to open it all through the back and remove the windows for everybody to have sun in here if you are 4 or 5 people.
And when you're traveling, you don't have anything to put in the back. So we've loved the soft top. It ended up being, you know, if ever we're able to, you know, down the road when production is going really well in the Bronco, if ever we have a chance to have another Bronco, because what we learned at Bronco Off Rodeo is that we really like having the skid plates and we really like having the front bumper. But we also learned that on our Outer Banks, I checked it out with one of the guys over there, Evan, awesome guy. He was really top notch. The staff over there made us feel like we're at, you know, a 7-star resort. They're so kind and accommodating. And I asked him the question, you know, the front tow hooks on the regular bumper on the Broncos, can you pull from them? And he said, let's check it out. And he's like, well, yeah, they're attached to the frames. He said, the back ones you definitely can. I said, well, that's good because I've already done that. So he kind of had a chuckle, and we checked it out. You can definitely pull from those fronts, but the front bumper is definitely a huge advantage in regards to stumps, rocks, and definitely
with the metal.
So the Outer Banks beside us is almost perfect. It's just missing a few little things.
And it's just to be secure that you want the metal bumper in the front and the back and the plate. So it's just for security.
Peace of mind. So we're not stressed, because very oddly, I recommend, unless you're regularly off doing some extreme off-roading, I highly recommend doing the New Hampshire Off Rodeo, because they took us. It was very, very technical, and in a few spots, actually in 5 or 6 spots, it was very extreme. Like, we could have definitely got jacked up. We pinned up, jacked up, whatever you want to call it.
And we hear rocks doing noise with the plate underneath the car.
There's 35 Broncos over there for anyone who's curious, and we'll have to review to see what the rules are, but if we can publish our footage, they were definitely very comfortable with it and encouraged it. They said, oh yeah, you can put it on whatever media you want, Instagram, whatever, post your stuff, but we'll have to look through all the rules. But we do have possible tons of, we've got like 5-6 episodes worth of off rodeo together. We're both pretty much had nerves of steel. Surprisingly, I thought you'd be screaming at times, but Marie didn't once scream. So pretty nice footage. There's no screaming kids. I didn't scream like a little kid. You didn't scream like a little kid, but we definitely learned that having the bash plates underneath is a peace of mind.
More like a total silence, because we were looking at the trees, because sometimes it was so close from the car. So I guess we were too much, how can I say that? Concentrate to scream.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, main reasons why we're selling this is I'm cheap and I can't say no to money. We've got 15,000 kilometers on this. exactly as of today.
Since we came
absolutely
from USA.
loved it. We regret not having heated seats, keyless entry. We regret not having the 360 camera, because when we go to the sand pit, we definitely like having that front camera to see, you know, if the front bumper is going to eat the ground. Problem on the other Bronco, it's also a compromise Bronco. It's not our order. It's a canceled order, and it has a plastic front bumper. So if we were to get a Bronco again, I think probably if we were willing to go all out on the budget.
Mix in between.
Yeah,
the
it's
two
a mix in
models.
between. It's either a full out Badlands. Of course, she won't want the Sasquatch package because she wants these mags. I definitely want the extra lift. I like the mags. I like the tires. But the tires have been really good to us. These are the BF Goodrich KO2s on 15,000 kilometers. They have worn unbelievably even. We'll have to do a long-term review on the other. I have absolutely no intention of selling the other Bronco unless I can absolutely get another Bronco. But we really appreciate your vote, so please find our little survey to vote if you want either a Mustang GT convertible as a long-term review or a Rubicon. But I already did the Jeep Rubicon review. I just haven't posted it yet. And I really like the look. There's things I love about it, but there's things that irritate me strongly. Major irritations. I'm not a pavement princess, but I do need some comfort for my back. And oddly, my back only hurts, you know, a 3 out of 10 today after driving this. I drove this myself 7 hours yesterday. I definitely shared some off-road time with her, but I also have about 2.5 hours, 2 hours, and you did maybe 45 minutes of the off-roading. So we have something like 9 hours. I've got something like 9 hours of driving yesterday, and my back is like a 2 or 3 out of 10. I drove the Rubicon, and through one bumpy corner, I got completely shaken up, and I was like, yeah, I can't handle more than, you know, 1 or 2 corners like that. So
For a daily car.
for a daily car, the Mustang GT has a more comfortable ride than the Rubicon. So I'm really happy that so far it's 59% votes for the Mustang GT. We're hoping it stays that way, because your reaction to the motor is share your impression.
Yeah, last week you came home with the GT just to let me see it, and you came with the Rubicon, I guess 2 weeks ago with it at home. And with the GT, we were so surprised about the sound of the exhaust, because we can put it at quiet, loud, we can switch it. You said it's an intelligent exhaust?
Active exhaust.
Thank you.
Intelligent in the sense that if the owner's intelligent, it's intelligent. Because it can also be an unintelligent exhaust. For example, it's 5 a.m. and you start it in race mode. Well, that's unintelligent exhaust. Whereas if you actually start it in silent mode at 5 a.m. and when you come home at 5 p.m. you have it in race mode, so that your neighbors shortly, for a very quick amount while they're barbecuing, hear a big like whoa. Well, then that is intelligent, because who doesn't like a great sounding exhaust?
And we were talking about comfort just before, and we were so surprised because we had a Mustang GT 2018 before.
Yeah.
And the 2000, it's a 20.
Yeah, it's a 2022. Yeah, it's a 22 Mustang GT. On the 18, I'd put in an H pipe and was convinced it was one of the nicest sounding Mustang other than a 5.2 liter. Mm-hmm. And that exhaust, even you were like, your reaction was
surprising.
Wow.
Yeah, but the other wow is, like I said to you, the comfort. You said just before it was hurting your back, and we went to the same road that is so bumpy in our neighborhood, and you were like, wow, it's almost like the Bronco. It's so soft.
Yeah, I don't know what.
It always depends on the mode that you put it, but it was on normal. It wasn't in comfort mode.
That is correct. Yeah, we were surprised. So, and I'd love if the community here could chime in, because it's impossible for me to research every single emotional response and how we feel when we drive a vehicle. But if ever anyone knows what modifications, if any, have been made since 2018 to 2022 on the Mustang, and if the answer is None. Well, then I'm going to have to assume that when I bought that 2018 Mustang GT, it was lowered. I'll have to go back and look at the photos to see the gapping. It could very well have been lowered by an inch, and that's possibly why it rode pretty rough. Compared to what we just drove, the 2022 either has had some very nice adjustments to the suspension to make it comfortable, or the 18 was lowered. Either way, when I sold the 18, I was kind of heartbroken, but I had to. I was being offered more money than what I paid for it, but it was beautiful. It was built the way I could say my dream Mustang would be built. The only thing that could have made it better is a 5.2 liter engine, and even more if I had millions of dollars. Well, obviously I'd get a GT500 and have a 5.2 liter supercharged, because that would just be incredible. But the channel doesn't have 300,000 subscribers, so that's not happening.
Not for now. We hope for someday, but not for now.
Well, if so, we'll just be pumping the money back into cars to show you on the channel. So that's the rewarding part of it.
More funny stuff.
Yeah, we can do more fun stuff. So basically, stay tuned. Do you have any more questions? Do we have anything? You're the editor, I guess we could say.
So you said we will need to wait for you to see which car you want us to have after this Bronco. So I will miss my Buddy Badlands, but that's fine. If you choose me another good car, please.
Yeah.
And after that, what we can expect from the channel? I guess you have a new project?
Well, you never know what to expect, because I almost bought a 4Runner for her, and
you never know,
but I test drove the 4Runner, and that reminds me, I have that footage probably still, and I haven't turned it into an actual review because the lighting was a little dim. But basically my main points were that the suspension was definitely more comfortable than that of the Rubicon, but it lacked engine. It just didn't have any engine, very little engine sound, and very little engine response. And I'm not the type that's going to drive around at 6,000 RPM just to get... I don't want speed. I want to feel speed, and I want to feel speed at low RPM. So I love the EcoBoost engine, either the 2.3 liter or the 2.7 liter, or any of Ford's EcoBoost engines, because you just touch the pedal and it takes off. So I didn't like on the 4Runner that you really have to pound on it to get anywhere. And I guess I kind of felt the same way with the 6-cylinder on the Jeep, because the Jeep, I was looking at a 2021, wasn't impressed by the suspension at all, and I wasn't impressed at all by the engine. It was very lackluster. I like a little excitement in my life. That's why I am engaged to a French Canadian, because that'll keep life exciting.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so. So.
And you have another project, huh?
Yes.
As you said, the MR2 that he just bought. Our goal is to it needs to be taken care of. Do a little beauty on that.
But it is cool.
Beast.
It's got the 3S GT engine, and not its original. It has a 97 3S GT Japanese engine in it. It's also a right-hand drive, so it's from Japan, because I bought that I'd had that imported back in, I think it was 05, give or take, and I had that until about 2013, give or take. I've bought and sold a lot of vehicles in my life for my personal rides, because
and it's almost 10 years after you sold it that we
and that's why on the channel you never know what to expect. So like and subscribe, not just to help feed the poodle, but also to find what kind of trouble I get myself into, because
and I guess
I have found out with that 3S GT, the engine seems pretty good, but smells of oil. So what have I gotten myself into? The seats inside are finished. What have I got myself into? Even the windshield looks scrapped, so I don't even know if I can restore that without having to find a replacement windshield.
The T-top is leaking.
The T-top is leaking. The paint is the worst painted car. It's in the worst paint condition ever, so that needs to get painted.
And you are doing backfire all the time.
I was shooting flames out the back end. It's I'm going to share that. I'm going to share an initial drive review before money gets put into it, but it is going to need, I don't know if the nickname of that vehicle should be, we'll find out. Is it going to be Money Pit, Or is it going to be, is it something to do with us first meeting each other and becoming friends? Is it, but anyways, that's...
I guess it could be an in-between... between love and hell.
Yeah.
Love, hell. MR2.
Love, hate.
Love, hate, MR2. Yeah.
Or heaven and hell. It's somewhere between heaven and hell. But anyways, we'll find out.
We'll see how much we will swear doing that. But you need to know that we're not pro in tuning, so it's more like aesthetical modification. We want just to give the MR2 the beauty that he has before.
I'm thinking of sending it to a tune shop because I wouldn't try to do that before. I have tried to tune a vehicle before with a turbo and that Celica engine blew, but that Toyota MR2 has the exhaust that's on it, very sentimental. I bled sweat and tears on it because I built that exhaust with a friend and literally I did the welding and I got burnt a couple times trying to get ready for a car show back when those were a big thing. So follow the channel, help us out. I think that covers all the questions for today. Not forget anything.
Covers all for today. We'll see the next project that John will came home with.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to vote and help us out. Like and subscribe. Take care, y'all, and have a great week. Oh, of course. I'm sorry. I do wish you all more cars and more power, meaning I hope that your ordered vehicle shows up soon, no matter what manufacturer you're ordering from. If it's mildly popular, it's got to wait, and wait times, the worst on the market right now, I believe, is the Toyota RAV4 Prime. At our local dealership in our area, I believe they're up to 5 years of wait time for that vehicle. So I know it's easy when you just shop Ford to think all the problems are only at Ford, but they're not. These are global problems, and if you have questions, please ask them. I will do my absolute best to answer them, but if anyone else in the community has the answer, please give us a helping hand. I'm 95% or Marie shows up to be the face and the beauty of the channel, but the rest is just me. So if anyone wants to help out in answering questions, please go right ahead. Have a great week. Take care.